Hello everyone. So in this video, we will learn how to create Asana tasks for new Trello cards. So imagine this, you are using Trello cards to manage your tasks in your team. So the idea is that once a card is created in Trello, there must be a task in Asana, reflecting the same data of the Trello card. So here you have two choices. The first choice is copy all the data from Trello, sort it out, and manually create a task in Asana. Now the problem with this approach is it's actually very repetitive and tiresome. So here I would suggest that you bring in some automation so that whenever a new card is created in Trello, automatically create a task in Asana. So in this video, we will be using Pabbly Connect to integrate Trello and Asana. The best part of using Pabbly Connect is there is no need for coding skills or programming knowledge. It can be done easily. Let me show you with an example. Okay, so this is my Trello board and this is the list we are using. So basically I'm going to create a card here. So the name of the card is Fix the Compilers. Okay, so this is the card. Let me just click on add a card. And after adding a card, we are going to enter some description and also we are going to set the due date. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, so the description is the transistors in the compiler are not functioning. Okay, so this is the description and I'm going to set that due date to let's say 29th of March. No, I'm sorry, 29th of May. Okay, 29th of May. And let me just click on save. Okay, so we have set the due date, we have set the description, excellent. So the card has been created, we have entered the description, we have set the due date. So the name of the card is Fix the Compilers. So let me just have a look in Asana. Do we have a card called as, do we have a task called as Fix the Compiler? So let me just refresh this. Okay, so as you can see, we have got the task Fix the Compiler. So basically, this is the whole process. Once you create a card in Trello, it will be reflected as a task in Asana. So to begin the actual integration process, in the new tab, let me just type pabbly.com. So your obvious question is why pabbly.com? Well, we have an app called as Pabbly Connect that will integrate Trello and Asana. So this is the website of pabbly.com. Let me just click on sign in. Okay, so basically I am going to take you to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect and here we are going to create a new workflow. Okay, so this is the dashboard. So as you can see, I already have created an account in Pabbly Connect. You can also build your own free account in just 2 minutes. So let me just scroll down and here you will find Connect. Just click on Access now. Okay, so basically at the top right corner, you will find a button, Create Workflow. So basically, before we create a new workflow, there is something I have to do. So as you can see, there is already integration of workflow that has integrated Trello and Asana. Now, I am going to switch off this workflow. The reason behind is, since we are going to create a new workflow, this old workflow will create the problem of duplication of result. So to avoid this dual results, we have switched off this workflow. It is actually none of your concern because we are going to start from scratch by clicking on create workflow. Okay, so we are going to give a name to this workflow. How about Trello to Asana? Of course, you can give any name according to your discretion. Let me just click on create. Okay, so when you click on create, a window appears in front of you. This is called as the trigger window. So basically we are going to create a new workflow. Now, if you want to directly access this workflow, you can clone the template using the link which I have shared in the description box. So in the choose app, how about we make it as Trello? Trello it is. Now in the trigger event, how about we make it as new card? Okay, so new card is a trigger event. So your obvious question is, what is a trigger event? Trigger is basically a if statement. It asks a question, if the condition is met, what should be done? For example, if a new card is made in Trello, then what action should be taken by the system? We do have a ton of trigger events like new board, card label, card moved to a list, and so on. All of them are a bunch of trigger events. Now in case if you want more triggers of your choice, you can just approach help section. Okay, just click here. So in the new tab, you will find Pabbly Forum. All you have to do is just click on feature request and place your trigger event request. So you just have to add a request that I want this trigger and it will be compiled. Okay, so let me just take you back to Pabbly Connect and let me just click on connect. In the new credentials, we have to fill in the username, the API key, as well as the token. So to get these details, let me just click on here. Just click here. Okay, so as you can see here, it is showing the developer key. Okay, I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So this is my API key. I have pasted it. Now coming to the username as well as the token. So to get these details, let me just scroll down. Actually, I have to click on this button, that is generate a token. Click this. Okay, so this is my username. I'm just going to copy this. This is my username and I'm going to paste it here. Now coming to the token. So the token is basically you generate from here by clicking on allow. Okay, so this is my token. I have copied it and I'm going to paste it here. So this is the token. So we have entered the username, the API key and the token. Let me just click on save. Okay, so when you click on save, you will find some blanks in front of you. The purpose of these blanks is very simple. We are going to receive the data from a particular board and from a particular list and get it inside Pabbly Connect so that we can create a task in Asana. So as you can see, the board, it is showing it as alpha board. So let me just take you to Trello. So at present we have many boards. One of them is called 𝗪𝗆. Okay, so let me just show you the boards we have. Okay, so these are all the boards we have. All the boards that is present here is simply being reflected here. So I'm just going to change it to 𝗪𝗆. Okay, so this is the name of the board, that is 𝗪𝗆. So here, as you can see, we have a ton of list. Okay, Airtable, WordPress, Jira issues, new tasks. So these are all the list that is present in my 𝗪𝗆 account. We have more like South Pole, North Pole, Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn. So these are all the list we have. Now what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you all the list that is present in the drop down. So these are the same list that is present in my Trello account in this particular board, that is 𝗪𝗆. Now what I'm going to do for your consideration, I'm going to create a new list. Okay, so we are going to add a card in that list. So first of all, let me create a new list. So the name of the list is Asana tasks. Okay, Asana tasks. And let me just click on add list. Okay, so a new list called as Asana tasks has been created. So let me just go to Pabbly Connect and let me just refresh this. So when I click on refresh, I can expect to find this newly created list in the drop down. So the name of the list is Asana tasks. Okay, excellent. Now basically all we have to do is just click on save and send test request to integrate Pabbly Connect and the board that is 𝗪𝗆 in Trello. So let me do that. Let me just click on save and send test request. Okay, so the API response is showing that we have integrated Pabbly Connect to this particular board that is 𝗪𝗆 and this particular list that is Asana task. So essentially this means that anytime a new card is added in this particular board and this particular list, Pabbly Connect has to capture the data. So as to ensure that Pabbly Connect captures this data, let me just click on this button, capture webhook response. Click this. Okay, so it is showing it is waiting for the data. So let me just take you to Trello and let me just add a new card. So the name of the card is, how about Proton Captured. Proton capture experiment. Okay, so this is the card and let me just click on add card. Okay, so as you can see, we have just click on add card. So basically it will add the card. Now since it has added the card, it basically means Pabbly Connect would have captured the data. But unfortunately we didn't have the time to add the description or the due date. Let me just take you to Pabbly Connect. So as you can see, it has already captured the data. Okay, but we haven't got the description or the due date because we haven't added them yet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go here. Okay, and I'm going to add the description. The description is the cathode tube experiment will be repeated. Okay, and the due date I'm assigning is till, let's say, 17th of March. Okay, so let me just click on due date. Okay, so it is 17th of, I'm sorry, not March, May. Okay, 17th of May. Okay, so let me just correct this and let me just click on save. So this is the description, the cathode tube experiment will be repeated. So what I'm going to do here is next, since this data, that is the description as well as the due date, hasn't been captured yet, so I have to create one more action window, to get those data, that is the description as well as the due date. So let me just introduce one more window. So the purpose of this window is very simple. We are going to create an action window. We are going to receive the description as well as the due date from Trello. So I'm just typing in Trello because we want to receive the information of the due date as well as the description. Now in the action event, how about we just make it as get card details. Okay, so get card details is an action event now. So let me just once again click on connect. Okay, so I'm not going to fill all these blanks once again. It is the same blanks, that is username, API key and the token. I'm just going to go to the recent setting. Okay, so the recent setting is Trello 50. So let me just click on save. Okay, so as you can see, it is showing card ID. So basically all the details, that is the description as well as the due date and many other details, are stored in a particular card ID. Now the card ID is basically this. Let me just show you. Okay, so this is our card ID. In this address, the description and the due date of the card, that is proton capture experiment, is stored. So from this address we have to extract the description as well as the due date. So let me just click here. Okay, and let me just add the card ID. So this is the card ID and we have mapped it. All we have to do is just click on save and send test request to receive the description as well as the due date. So let me just scroll down. Okay, so as you can see, this is the description. Cathode tube experiment will be repeated. And then we have the due date. Okay, so this is the due date. So this is the due date in UTC format. Okay, so excellent. Now we are going to add a task in Asana. So I'm going to introduce one more action window. So I'm introducing one more action window. And in the choose app, I'm just typing Asana. Asana it is. Okay, so now in the action event, how about we make it as create a task? So create a task is an action event. There are many more action events like create a project, edit a project, delete a project. All of them are a bunch of action events. Now, just like the triggers, if you want more action events according to your choice, all you have to approach is Pabbly forum. Here you can just make a request that I want this action event. Okay, so let me just take you back to Pabbly Connect and let me just click on connect. Okay, so in the new credentials, let me just click on connect with Asana. Okay, excellent. The authorization is successful. Just press OK. So as you can see, you will find a set of blanks in front of you. The purpose of these blanks is very simple. We are going to create a task in Asana from the data that we have received from Trello via Pabbly Connect. So let's start mapping. So we are going to map in the name. So this is the name of the card, that is proton capture experiment. Now coming to the notes, so here we are going to enter the description. So as I mentioned, we will find the description in the second accordion. So in the second accordion, the description is the cathode tube experiment will be repeated, and then the day and the due date. So basically this is the due date. So where is our due date? Okay, so nope, this is not the due date. So this, yeah, so this is our due date, and we don't have any data regarding due on, so we are just going to ignore it. Now as far as the assignee is concerned, we have a ton of assignee. I'm going to assign all these tasks to a guy called as Elon Musk. Okay, so he has been assigned. Now we do have a ton of projects, that is IT request, Salesforce, new integration. So basically these are all the projects. Let me just take you to Asana and let me just show you all the projects I have. So these are all the projects I have. Okay, so all the projects that is present here is just being shown here. Okay, so out of all these projects, I'm going to select this particular project, that is IT request. Okay, so this is the project IT request. I have selected it. Now coming to the workspace, there is only one workspace, that is IT. So this is the workspace we have, that is IT. Okay, now coming to the tags, we can just assign any tag we want. I'm going with TA, or how about blue? So we already have tags, that is blue, red, Salesforce and TA. Now if you want more tags, so you actually have to create a tag first in Asana and you then have to refresh it. So when you refresh, you can find the tag in the drop down. So the tag is blue. So excellent. So basically we have filled all the details sufficient enough to create a task in Asana. All we have to do is just click on save and send test request. Okay. Okay, so the API response is showing the data has been sent. So let me just have a look. So this is the project IT request. So we are selecting it. And in the task, we will find, yes, the proton capture experiment. So this is the data, proton capture experiment. Okay, so at present, it is looking like our integration is successful. We have successfully integrated Trello and Asana. But our experiment is far from over. We actually have to add 2 more action windows to fix this. Now, let me show you what is the problem with this. So let me just add one more card. Okay, and the name of the card is electrons needs to be discovered. Okay, so this is the new card, electrons need to be discovered. And let me just add this card. Okay, and after adding the card, I'm just going to add the description as well as the due date. Now, for the discovery of electrons, I am going to assign this task to probably 𝗪𝗪𝗍𝗯𝗪, okay, or Elon Musk. And the due date, I'm keeping it as, let's say, 25th of May. Okay, and let me just click on save. And the description is, please continue the work of J.J. Thomson, because that's the guy I think who discovered electron. Okay, so let me just click on save. Okay, so we have entered the description, we have set the due date. Let me just cancel this. So we can expect to find this newly created card, the description and the due date as a task in Asana. So let me just take you to Asana, okay, and let me just refresh this. Oops, we do have the card details as task. The electrons need to be discovered, but unfortunately you can see it has been repeated 4 times. Okay, so as you can see, it has been repeated 4 times. So let us explore why. So first of all, this task, this card was created, but it is not showing any due date or the description, so it is missing. This is because, as you may remember, the card was created first and then the description and the due date was added. So that is why the data of the card was sent. Then we have the second one. Okay, so here it is showing the due date, but it is actually not showing any description. Now in the third one, it is also showing the due date but not the description. But in the fourth one, we have the due date as well as the description. So this one is the correct one. And these all 4 are really wrong ones. Okay, these are incomplete ones. So we really don't want these 3. We only want this one. So how to do that? So first of all, we are going to introduce a delay module. So the purpose of the delay module is we are going to restrict the flow of data for 2 minutes. So the idea behind is that once the card is created, the data will wait for 2 minutes until the description as well as the due date is also added. So if you don't understand, let me show you. Let me just add this window that is of the delay module. So in between this action window, in between this trigger window and the action window, I'm going to add the delay module. So I have clicked on the plus button, and this is the app that is delay by Pabbly, and I'm going to delay it for 2 minutes. So as you can see, it is showing the type that is delay for, and the minutes I'm delaying it is for 2 minutes. So let me just click on save. Okay, so it is showing the status that it is successful and the whole program has been delayed for 2 minutes. Now I'm going to refresh this by clicking on F5. Okay, so it is getting refreshed. Okay, so we have refreshed it. So let me just have a look. Okay, so now we are going to create one more card. Okay, so it's far from done here. Okay, so let me just add one more card. Neutrons. So this is the name of the card. Neutrons are to be measured. Okay, so neutrons are to be measured. This is the name of the card. Neutrons are to be measured. Okay, let me just add this card, and after adding the card, I will be setting up the description as well as the due date. And the description is who was the discoverer of neutron. So I think it was James Chadwick. Chadwick's experiment should be probed on. Okay, just a random description. And in the due date, we are going to set the due date as 5th of May 2021. Okay, so 5th of May 2021 it is. And let me just click on save. Okay, so we have set the due date. So let me just click on save, and we have set the description. So what I'm going to do here is next, I'm just going to take you to Asana, and let's explore once again. So let me just refresh this. Okay, so after a delay of 2 minutes, so as you can see, we again have this 4 of them, but this time there is a difference. So as you can see, I'm going with the last one. So basically this is the oldest one that it has sent. So it is already showing the description as well as the due date. Okay, Here also it is showing the description as well as the due date. Okay, so basically it has fired all these messages, but with the due date as well as the description. So basically some part of our delay module is working, but there is something else you should know. Now when a card is created in Trello, after creating a card it is also updating it. Okay, so that's the problem. That is why it is showing this for 4 times. Okay, so basically we have to avoid all those data which is related to updating of the card. So let me just show you to let me just take you to Pabbly Connect and let me just show you the history. Okay, so let me just take you to history and let me just show you what is going on. So let me just take you to Asana. I'm sorry, let me just take you to the trigger. So here, okay, so let me show you. So in the action type, it is showing the card has been updated. We don't want the card to be updated. We only want the card to be created. Okay, that's all. So we actually have to set a filter. The filter is only the card when it is created, the data should flow. In case of updating our card or deletion of a card, the data should not flow. So the filter would be something like this. If the card is created, then only the data should flow. Now to make a filter, let me just take you back to Pabbly Connect and let me just take you back to the workflow. Okay, the same workflow. Okay, and let me just add one more action window in between these two windows. So this action window will involve the term that is the filter. Okay, so let me just add it. Okay, so in the choose app we are just going to mention it as filter. Okay, filter by Pabbly. We have selected it. Now we are going to set the action event something like this. If the card is created, then only the data should flow. So let me just scroll down and let me just show the action type, that is create a card. Okay, this is equal to create card. Okay, so now we are ready. So basically if the action is create a card is equal to create a card, then only the data should flow. If the action would show something like if action type create, if the action type update card which is not equal to create card, the data will stop flowing. So let me just click on save and send test request. It will show the data as success, the condition is true. Excellent. Now we just have to refresh the whole workflow. All I'm going to do is just click on refresh button, that is in my case it's F5. So I have refreshed it, and this time we are just again going back to Trello. And once again, we are going to add a new card. So this time the name of the card, okay, some of the elementary particles, how about muons? Muons are not accurate. Okay, so this is the name of the card, muons are not accurate. Now here I'm going to add the description as well as the due date. Okay, so let me just click here. And let me just add the description as well as the due date. The description is muons. Okay, let me just add the due date. I'm sorry, it's taking some time. Muons are fast moving particles. Please hurry. Muons are fast moving particles, please hurry. And so we are going to set the due date. So the due date I'm planning is how about 19th of May. Okay, that would work. Okay, so 19th of May it is, and let me just click on save. Okay, let me just save the description and we are ready with the card. So the card has been created. So let me just take you to Asana and let me just refresh this. Now if the task is only created once, with the description as the due date, to description as well as the due date, we have a successful integration. But again, if it is showing 4 or 5 or 10 results, then means our integration is not working. We have to figure something else out. Okay, so let me just refresh. Okay, so as you can see, at this point, we only have one task, that is muons are not accurate. Okay, and it has been assigned to Elon Musk, and this is the due date and this is the description. A perfect Asana task. Okay, so this means our integration is finally working fine. There won't be any 10 types of tasks created for one card in Trello. Okay, so we only have one task created for one card. So before you leave, let me just explain you the whole mechanism in a nutshell. So I have minimized my trigger window, and rest of the action windows are all minimized. So basically, first you integrated Trello to Pabbly Connect, and then you have established a filter with a condition that if this card is created, then only the data should flow. Basically, it is restricting the action that is updating the card. And then we have set up the delay module so that you can send the card name as well as the description and the due date as a full one package. And then we have set up the Trello to get the card details. And at the last, we have the last action window just to integrate Asana to Pabbly Connect to create a task. So now there's a perfect flow of data between Trello and Asana. Excellent.